Success has always been one of those words that feels heavier than it should. Everyone chases it, whispers about it, even worships it, but rarely do we stop to think about what it truly means or why it often seems just out of reach. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed one rainy afternoon, the city skyline outside my window blurred with wet streaks of water, realizing that I had been chasing success like it was some object I could seize. Promotions, accolades, money, influence, they all felt like lifelines I had to grasp, yet each time I thought I had one in my hand, it slipped, leaving me breathless and questioning my own worth. That day, I began to understand that the secret of attracting success wasn't about chasing anything at all. It started with a question. Why did some people seem to draw opportunity as effortlessly as the ocean pulls the tide, while I felt like I was constantly paddling against the current? I watched them, not with envy, but with curiosity. The way they moved through life, calm, deliberate, unhurried, as if the world was bending subtly to their will. It wasn't luck, not entirely. There was a pattern, a rhythm, something invisible yet undeniably real. And then it hit me. The people who attract success are not merely working harder or trying louder. They are aligning themselves with forces they understand, forces rooted in clarity, focus, and intention. I began to experiment with this understanding. I stopped frantically applying to every opportunity, attending every networking event, and forcing myself into every possible corner where success might reside. Instead, I began to cultivate what I call inner alignment. Every morning, I would sit for 20 minutes, not planning my day, not thinking about achievements, just existing in awareness, breathing, feeling, observing. It felt absurd at first. My mind screamed that I was wasting precious time. But slowly, the clarity emerged. The frantic haze of must do, must have began to lift. And in its place, I noticed things I had always ignored. The subtle gaps where opportunity quietly waits. The people who need a solution that I could provide. The moments where timing, patience, and presence intersect. The first lesson was this: success is attracted, not chased. The world does not reward frantic energy. It responds to presence. When I showed up fully, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I noticed a shift. Doors opened, not because I begged them to, but because my awareness allowed me to see the path. I realized that I had been wearing blinders, a costume of busyness that hid me from the very opportunities I sought. I had been so focused on the destination that I had ignored the signals along the way. Signals that whispered, "This is the way. This is the connection. This is the step you must take." The second lesson: success favors clarity of intention over intensity of effort. For years, I had been scattered. I chased every lead, every possibility, every shiny promise, believing that more effort equals more results. But my energy was divided, my focus fragmented. Once I learned to define what success actually meant for me, not what society, family, or peers dictated, I discovered that the universe responds to specificity. I did not need to chase everything. I needed to identify the path that resonated with my purpose and walk it with unwavering attention. The clarity of knowing why I pursued something became magnetic. People noticed it, opportunities noticed it. The world, in a way, began to reflect the focus I had cultivated inside myself. The third lesson was harder, and it tested me in ways I had not anticipated. Success is inseparable from surrender. At first, surrender sounded like giving up, and I recoiled from it. How could letting go bring anything? But what I learned is that surrender is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the recognition that control is an illusion, that outcomes cannot be forced, that life has currents we cannot see but must respect. When I surrendered my obsession with results, I stopped strangling possibilities with desperation. I began to respond instead of react, to act instead of push. And in that state, the unexpected started happening. Doors I had not knocked on opened. Conversations unfolded that I could not have scripted. Connections formed that were serendipitous yet precise.
I remember a particular afternoon that cemented this truth. I had been working on a project I felt passionate about, something that could change the trajectory of my career. I had exhausted every lead, every contact, and still faced rejection after rejection. Frustration and despair were high, and I was on the verge of giving up. But then I paused, closed my laptop, and simply allowed myself to breathe. I stopped thinking about the outcome. Hours later, almost accidentally, I encountered a person at a coffee shop who introduced me to an investor, not through networking, but through casual conversation, genuine curiosity, and a willingness to listen rather than pitch. That interaction set off a chain reaction I could never have orchestrated. It became clear: success comes to those who can hold tension without losing peace, who can engage the world without clinging to control. Another vital element I discovered: success thrives on generosity and service. When I shifted my perspective from what I could get to what I could give, the doors seemed to multiply. Helping someone with advice, sharing knowledge freely, connecting people without expectation. All of it became a kind of invisible currency that attracted wealth, opportunities, and respect. It is ironic but undeniable. Those who hoard, compete relentlessly, or manipulate often find themselves trapped in scarcity. Those who lift, share, and contribute naturally draw abundance because they are aligned with the rhythms of life, with the invisible flow that rewards contribution over consumption. Perhaps the most subtle but crucial truth is that success is inseparable from self-trust. I had wasted years doubting myself, seeking validation from others, letting fear dictate my actions. But the moment I decided to trust my instincts, my rhythm, my capacity to navigate uncertainty, everything changed. It was not arrogance, but confidence tempered by humility. I began to listen to my intuition in meetings, in emails, in personal choices. And time and again, the intuition that had once seemed whimsical led me directly to fruitful outcomes. Self-trust, I realized, is a silent magnet for the right opportunities because it signals alignment to both the self and the universe.
3 years after I started practicing these principles, my life had transformed. I had not chased success, yet I had achieved more than I could have imagined. Projects that I had despaired over succeeded. Partnerships that seemed impossible materialized. Recognition came not as a result of aggression or self-promotion, but as a reflection of my focus, clarity, surrender, generosity, and self-trust. I had learned to attract success rather than chase it. The shift was subtle, almost imperceptible, but its effects were undeniable. Looking back, I understand now why most people struggle with success. They treat it as a transaction, more effort, more hustle, more noise. But life is not a ledger, and outcomes are rarely linear. Success is a resonance, a vibration, a state that requires alignment with the principles that govern both the inner and outer world. To attract it, one must cultivate presence, clarity, surrender, generosity, and self-trust, not as tactics, but as a way of being. I often tell this to people who ask me how I did it, and I see their eyes glaze over with skepticism. They want a checklist, a hack, a shortcut, but there is none. The secret is ancient, deceptively simple, and profoundly difficult to embody. It is the art of existing in alignment with one's own values, purpose, and rhythm, and allowing the world to respond in kind. It is the paradox that those who let go of the desperate chase are the ones who receive the spoils of effort with grace. Now, when I wake in the morning and see the world outside my window, I do not feel the hunger of lack. I feel the calm excitement of possibility. I do not chase success, I inhabit it. Every conversation, every connection, every decision is guided by the principles I have learned, and life flows in ways that feel inevitable yet astonishing. I have come to understand that success is not a prize, not a trophy, not a title. It is a state of harmony between intention and action, between inner peace and outer engagement. To attract it is not to manipulate, but to align. And in alignment, the world conspires gently, mysteriously, inevitably. And that is the secret of attracting success. Not the pursuit of it, but the mastery of oneself, the cultivation of presence, the surrender of control, and the generous, deliberate engagement with life. Those who learn this truth will find themselves carried by a current, invisible to the frantic, unnoticed by the desperate, and undeniable to those who have chosen the quiet path.